Hi, Sis. How are you doing? Welcome to Nine Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video where an Asian man was talking to, like he was trying to talk to his own community that not until the Asians, the Latinos realize that Black Americans, that both of us or all of us share the same oppressor. Not until they learn that if they learn that we will win, but if they don't learn that, we will not win. And I am asking, are they babies? Are they babies? Because my 4-year-old niece is very smart, that she knows everything happening around. And you all that is in the same vicinity, same environment, are not able to pick it. That shows how unaware you all are. And I am not going to say majority, you all are. Because when you are aware, you are supposed to know what is what and what is not. Black people really fought so hard for you people, Latinos, Asians. And I am glad you are saying it, that most of the things that you are studying migrating because of Black people. That is to show you how they've been showing all out for you people. But I do not want to look like, talk about all the things that has happened way before. I am talking about the election that happened also shows how you people think about Black community. And also the affirmative action shows how you people care about Black community. Not until you all are ready. Black people, I ain't talking to no one. Let's get into this video.
I always tell people the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. But the problem is our communities are divided. For Asian Americans and for African Americans, we probably have one of the worst relationships between any community.
Well, I bet you a lot of Asian Americans too don't, in my experience, don't even realize that if it wasn't for the civil rights movement, there would not be 22 million Asian Americans in this country.
Thank you. What I have been trying to teach the Asian community is like, friends, do you understand that your success, your prosperity, your civil rights that you enjoy right now was paid for with Black blood? I always tell people the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. But the problem is our communities are divided. For Asian Americans and for African Americans, we probably have one of the worst relationships between any community.
Well, I bet you a lot of Asian Americans too don't, in my experience, don't even realize that if it wasn't for the civil rights movement, there would not be 22 million Asian Americans in this country.
Thank you. What I have been trying to teach the Asian community is like, friends, do you understand that your success, your prosperity, your civil rights that you enjoy right now was paid for with Black blood?
No, we're good. We are good. No. I'm speaking for Black American experience. Every time we have tried to band with everyone, literally, the whites come in and offer you all something and you leave us in the dust. We tried it. Our own people sold us out. Let's start there. Well, I don't even know if that, because I feel like it went by tribe. It was a war, but let's not even start there. Let's just say our own people sold us out, right? Arabs conquered North Africa, the Spanish slave trade, which they had Black people in. Then, when you look at the Native Americans, the 5 civilized tribes, most of them sold the Blacks back to the whites because the Blacks couldn't afford to prove that they were Native Americans. Every time we have tried to band with someone, y'all fuck us over. Figure it out your fucking self. I am not a racist person. I love everybody. But when it comes to success, I'm only worried about the Black American community right now due to the fact of, if it was vice versa, everybody else would think of themselves. So we're starting to get the mindset you all have. And quite honestly, this is just my opinion. I hope this doesn't come off racist or, funny. You got to watch Asians. They're more slicker and narcissistic than white people. They're smart. Watch them. Even though they're cool, though, watch them. This is why I've gone to say I don't try to throw it in anybody else's face. But if you are not Black American, and I'm talking about descendant of the slave trade Black American, and even if you have the same skin color, and if you're from somewhere else, the civil rights movement and us not wanting to be slaves anymore and actually telling them we're not going to do the work literally brought you all in. We literally are the reason why everyone came in here. If we were good slaves and we actually did what the white man told us to do, none of you all would be here, honestly. And that's real tea. They only started letting everybody in because we started to fight back.
I always tell people the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. But the problem is our communities are divided. For Asian Americans and for African Americans, we probably have one of the worst relationships between any community.
Well, I bet you a lot of Asian Americans too don't, in my experience, don't even realize that if it wasn't for the civil rights movement, there would not be 22 million Asian Americans in this country.
Thank you. What I have been trying to teach the Asian community is like, friends, do you understand that your success, your prosperity, your civil rights that you enjoy right now was paid for with black blood?
That's what I'm talking about. He gets it. If you don't use black people and exploit them for your own cause, you won't get anywhere. So you gotta hop on a black movement, black protest, and you'll help for a little bit, and then start your movement, and then align with our so-called common enemy. Then turn the blame on us black people for the harm in your community, and then get a bill passed, leaving us with nothing. And then what you gotta do is blame us some more and say we're the reason that y'all aren't getting into colleges at a better rate, because apparently we were only getting in from affirmative action. So y'all had that overturned. The key is saying that we all have a common enemy and that we're so alike in our oppression, because you realize that the rights that you have are from black people. And don't mention the reason for the rift of black people and everyone else. Make it seem like it's a mutual thing and we did something to you and you did something to us. Don't mention the fact that you come into our neighborhoods, take our money, and commit violence against us. Present it as if it's both of our faults, and just wash and repeat, because black people are going to fall for it every time, because they want that unity with other races and not themselves. And let's explain it in a way that sounds like you're appreciative of what black people have done, so that black people will feel good and acknowledged. Continue to use black people for what you want. Ignore the fact that you're one of our oppressors and have always been. All you gotta do is stroke black people's egos. Let us start our movement and then pretend to go along with it, and then overshadow the movement. Focus on your own movement and leave us in the dust where we were. Use our longing for POC unity against us. Get where you need to go. 10 out of 10.
So there's a video floating around TikTok where there's an Asian American man that's basically saying that he is having conversations with Asians and addressing their anti-blackness, and talking about how black people, specifically African Americans in the United States, are the reason why Asians were allowed to immigrate to the United States. And Asians often forget that. Now, the point of the video is him saying that he's having conversations amongst Asians, because Asians need to understand and unpack their anti-blackness. That's what I'm talking about. It's that right there. Instead of you talking at black people, African Americans more specifically, you need to have conversations within your own communities and unpack your anti-blackness before you come talk to us. Because a lot of y'all want to skip that step. You want to skip the work that you need to do in your community. You want to skip those conversations that directly put a lot of your family members in the crosshairs and their problematic behavior that they have displayed for so many years in the crosshair. That's what I'm talking about when I say you guys need to talk amongst yourselves and then come back and talk to us when you have done the work within your communities to unpack your anti-blackness. Because a lot of y'all, again, are not trying to do that. You are still trying to just come to black people and talk at us about what we have been saying when we are demanding respect. And we are done with the disrespect. You're going to have to do the work this time. You are going to have to do the hard lifting and work on your own until you actually do the work to address what's going on in your community and why y'all are so anti-black. Why the first thing y'all did was jump in a pile-on of anti-blackness with white leftists because we were telling you guys that we were going to vote for our safety in this country and security in this country. And if we're not safe and secure here, we cannot assist people abroad. We cannot advocate for people abroad. You heard all of that and you still jump to anti-blackness. So if you haven't seen that video floating around your FYP, if you are non-black, you need to watch that video, where he's basically saying that all non-black communities need to go and have conversations, hard conversations amongst themselves and unpack that conditioning of anti-blackness. And then when you have done the work, the actual work, then you come to the table. And then maybe we can unify and actually dismantle these systems of oppression. BIPOC unity is not going to exist if you're not doing that. Period.
But the problem is our communities are divided.
I bet you a lot of Asian Americans too don't, in my experience, don't even realize that if it wasn't for the civil rights movement, there would not be 22 million.
The problem is in division. This is the problem. Black Americans are only seen when we're beneficial to others. He said because of the civil rights movement, that's why 20 plus Asian people are here. But who was the sacrificial lamb during that civil rights movement? What other minority group was in the trenches with Black Americans while that was happening? Okay, and then on top of that, affirmative action, you know who benefited from that, even though it was meant for Black Americans and other marginalized groups? White women. And you see how they voted this past election. Other than that, if they're not benefiting from Black American people or Black American culture, they look at Black American people as less than. That's why they're always thriving and reaching for white proximity. This also applies to all the blacks that's not Black American. They think they better than Black Americans, but they're always cosplaying and benefiting from Black American culture. And these people are so disingenuous because they're only talking like this because of Trump, talking about mass deporting Asians, Hispanics, Latinos, non-American citizens. That's the only reason this conversation came up, and that's why this is so disingenuous. It's funny now that they targeted, they want to give Black Americans credit. How come this conversation didn't happen 10 years ago, 11 years ago? The civil rights movement took place 60 years ago, and you now just talking about it? And since we're talking about this oppressor, this colonizer, the man, it's funny because he will hire a Black American before the Asian man will, before the Arab man will. Matter of fact, they'll come into your community, your Black community, take all your money, but they won't give you a chance. And then they judge you worse than the oppressor. Let one Black American person do something wrong, then they label the whole community that way. That's the same tactics the white man use. Right? So the problem isn't division. The problem is respect. Y'all view Black Americans as less than, and we're not having it. If we don't take that, accept that type of treatment from the white man, what makes you think that we're going to accept it from these middle groups? Are y'all that delusional? It's always good to show gratitude, but what does that translate into without respect? Genie in a bottle?
What I have been trying to teach the Asian community is like, friends, do you understand that your success, your prosperity, your civil rights that you enjoy right now was paid for with Black blood? I always tell people the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. But the problem is our communities are divided. For Asian Americans and for African Americans, we probably have one of the worst relationships between any community.
Well, I bet you a lot of...
So then tell your community to stop being anti-Black towards Black people in America. I mean, it's not that hard. All you have to do is have a little meeting with your said race and tell them to stop being anti-Black towards Black people. Like, are we serious right now? Like, everybody starts with us. And then when we as a whole clap back at everybody, white people, Asian people, don't matter. Now it's all about, like, that's not how that works. We were brought here literally against our own will. In the Americas, in the Caribbean, in Canada, Mexico, we were brought here against our will, right? The majority of other races chose to come here. The majority, yes, I'm aware that some Asians were enslaved and brought here to work on the railroads in the West. I get that. But outside of that, the vast majority of y'all chose to come here. So stop with this whole, we on the same boat. We all equal. We all equally go through the same thing. No, we do not. No, we do not. And that's no hate towards the Asian community. I love my Asian folks down. But stop the nonsense. Work on your community and tell them to stop being anti-black to us. When you guys owning your little corner stores and this, that, and the third, when you guys are owning your businesses and you see dark-skinned black folks, light-skinned black folks in general, whether they have cornrows, dreadlocks, whatever the case may be, walk into your establishments, okay? And you guys get a little bit of anxiety because we're wearing a shiesty or we're wearing a durag. Maybe you need to work on your internalized anti-blackness before you sit here and worry about how we react to it, respectfully. Then maybe, just maybe, we can work together and fight this big old oppressor of ours, right?
I can't stand the word white supremacy because there's nothing supreme about white supremacy. In order to be supreme, you got to be better than everybody. When people only hand you things because of your whiteness, you ain't supreme. It really should be called white mediocrity, the white mediocres. When a group of people feel like they have to push others down or push others back in order to feel better about themselves, ain't nothing supreme about that, baby. But you know what is supreme? When you are in white male-dominated spaces and still rise to the top. When nobody before you looks like you, but you still rise to the top. When you look to your left and your right and you don't see no sister locks, but you still rise to the top. Oh, baby, that's supreme. How about when you dominate in the whiteness of television? When you influence generations of kids to go to school in a space that was never meant for you to dominate? You push forward the culture and show everybody that we are not a monolith. Or how about when you're the first and you do it better than anybody could ever do, but they take your whole swag and try to play you out like you never existed? When you can reign supreme in a white male-driven society, produce the next generation of comedy, and blaze a trail that others before you could only imagine, that's when we'll call you supreme. When what you think is supreme about you stops being what is actually supreme about us, that'll be the day we stop calling you mediocre at best. See, look, a page full of white mediocrity. There is no such thing as a DEI hire. We have to work hard for everything we get. This is what it looks like when you don't have to work hard. Mediocre at best.
This is all I got from this video. And before I am going to start with so far, you all can see that it's not Black community so far. You know, it is not Black people. It is you people against Black people. It is Latinos against Black people. It is Asian Americans against Black people. Now, the fact that Black people have to keep telling them that all of them share the same oppressors with us shows that they are not woke and they are not aware of what is happening to them or what is going on. Because if you are aware or if you know what is going on around you, there are some mistakes you will never do. But you all thought that it is Black people against you, or it is Black people benefiting everything in the whole wide world, when you all are already the problem. Now, I am going to say this clear, and it is stop talking and do the work. Stop talking and get to your community and do the work. Black people are no longer doing any work for anybody. Black people are no longer teaching anybody. Black people will not even be having some certain kind of conversation with you all. If you want something better, work it out and make it happen. Because it is amazing how we look around. Now, why I am saying this, I am also going to say this. I am not saying that Black people are perfect, right? Get me wrong, because I don't want it to look like I am trying to make us look like the perfect human beings. We are not perfect. But one thing I have known so far as imperfect human beings Black people are is that they never left anybody behind. They never left you all behind. They've been carrying you all along from beginning to this very moment. They've been walking with you people. They've been holding your hands. They've been consoling you. They've been uplifting you, right? But then you all sit back and say, you see these people, I ain't for them. And you go around and do otherwise. I love the fact that they said that they started migrating because of Black people, civil rights, and the rest of them. So how do you people wake up, the same people that fought tooth and nail for you? You woke up and said that, boldly said that they are the problem. Affirmative action and all that. You all said that we are the people benefiting from it. It is not your problem, right? Let's get it out of the way. And you people really did get it out of the way, and now you're all crying. That shows how some of you are not aware of what is going on around you. And the worst part is that you all will do all this. Black people will tell you, see, do not do this because it is going to really backfire. You always still go ahead and do what you wish, right? And then turn around to make it look like I am not the one. I wasn't the one. I didn't do it. When it comes to Black community, you all live all in Black neighborhoods. Check around. Check around. The fact that some of you have refused to understand that we share the same oppressor shows how dumb some people are. Because if I am not even in among your community, like I am not within you, but I know from afar, I mean, who the people that are going through it and people that aren't going it. And you people that is going through it are not even able to see through what is going on. That shows how unintelligent, I'm sorry to use that word, but that is what it is. Because if you are not able to see who is biting you, like straight up, why the person is looking at you and biting you, and you are not able to identify or know that this person is biting you, shows really how dumb or dense you are. You all are all in Black community, Latinos, Asians, America. You all occupy Black community. You all have you all have businesses in Black community. You all take away Black dollars, but the same you do not respect Black people. The same you do not care about us. When I am saying you do not care about us, I am exempting everything that has happened all these years, but I present to you the last election that happened. How you all also bear your heart to Black community and then turn around to start asking how did it happen? That it wasn't you, it wasn't the Latinos, it was the Cubans. The Cubans are saying it wasn't them. It was like we are not seeing how the election happened, or how it's presented, like how we saw everything, right? See, Black people are no longer doing the work for anybody. It is time for you to save yourself. And you all already know it's 2025, right? Inauguration about to take place. I hope you all are packing well. Yeah, because I learned that you all are trying to call Black people to come and protest with. I am going to bring that video with Latinos to stop who from deporting who. You all must really be very dense. Like, it is the audacity of you thinking of Black people at all. That shows how moving mad you all are moving. Really, I don't want to continue. I think I'm going to stop here. But you know one thing I want to tell you, Black people are unavailable. See you all in the next 4 years. Go fix your community. Go talk in your community. It is not Black people. It is you, Latinos, and the Asians. Bye for now.